It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Eagle Communications.
Good evening and welcome into the latest edition of Tiger Talk, a happy program as Fort Hays State picks up a big win, their first of the season. They go down to Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and after a sluggish start, score 48 unanswered and knock off the Northeastern State Riverhawks 48-13 to even their record up at 1-1. We'll review the big win for Fort Hays State and look ahead to this Saturday night. Fort Hays back at home for tailgate. They take on the Lindenwood Lions for just the third time in school history. That's a 7 o'clock kick out at Lewis Field. We'll have more on that as the program moves along. It's, of course, brought to you by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill and Hays, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. Back with head football coach Chris Brown right after the break, right here on Tiger Talk. Hi, I'm Gerard Walbrock, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, inviting you to join me for Tiger Talk. Airs Monday nights from 6 until 6:30 on Tiger Radio Mix 103, and then the video replay on Eagle Cable Channel 14 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We'll talk Fort Hays State football with head coach Chris Brown, preview the last game, and look ahead to the next week's action on Tiger Talk. Monday nights, 6 till 6:30 on Tiger Radio Mix 103 and on Eagle Cable Channel 14. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, presented by the fine folks at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill in Hays, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. All appetizers, half price, every night of the week, 8 until close. And you can ask about the new barbecue nachos, the loaded barbecue fries. If you're up studying late, Fort Hays State student, out with some friends, getting home late from the game, it's all available 7 days a week. Half price appetizers, 8 till close at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill. Joined now by head coach Chris Brown, and congratulations. That was a much better performance on Saturday in Tahlequah than the season opener. I imagine that's the team you maybe envisioned going into the season.
Yeah, that was a team I was looking for all, since the first game. Through practices we did those things. Through the summer they did the things right, and they just played well. Defensively we really swarmed to the ball and created some turnovers, and then offensively, after those first two series, really got it going and doing the things that I expected them to do all year long. And at halftime I talked to our lineman about, you got 37 yards rushing right now. Are you guys satisfied with that? And then I said, we need to take pride in our run game. I think we almost ended up with almost 200 yards rushing, and that's the type of offense I want. It was fun to watch those guys go out there and make plays. Our backs were hitting the holes, our linemen were blowing them off the line of scrimmage, and that's what I've been looking for, and got a lot better feeling this week, than I did last week about this team. But very proud of the way the guys bounced back this week.
And you have to be happy with how they handled the adversity, because it didn't start out good, 3 and out, and then Northeastern goes on a 12-play, 80-yard drive, and then you go 3 and out again, and you had to be thinking, oh my goodness, here we go again. But to your credit, they got to stop, and then from that point on, the offense really took off.
It was, I was like, here we go. Week 2, same thing, same scenario, but it's just talking to your kids, hey, we can't have this happen again. We got to get something going, figure out a way to do something, offensively and defensively. In that series where they went down and scored, there's 2 situations there. If we do what we're supposed to do defensively, it's 4th down and they're punting the ball, and we got to get those things cleaned up. Then offensively, our coaches did a great job of figuring out what they did up front to us, because it's something we hadn't seen out of them before. And Coach Hiskey and Coach Schreiber and Coach McCray figured it out pretty quick and drew it up on the board. Guys coached themselves up on the football field, and it worked for us. So I'm very proud of the way those guys adjusted to the situation.
Started Kevin Spain at quarterback and really did a good job, and then still implemented Travion. I don't think he started out in a slot. You ran that jet sweep. You had a couple of big pass plays to him. Is that more how you envision maybe that position? Obviously, Kevin gets hurt late in the first half of that contest, but Kevin, your starter, and then Travion in those situations, and also with that option, especially down near the goal line, because he came in and really executed well near the goal line.
I think so. I think we got to use Travion any way we can use him, whether it's wide receiver, tailback, jet sweeps, passing routes, at quarterback at times, and I think that fits him more, as an athlete, and. Now he's not so nervous about being the starting quarterback and the guy, and then doesn't have to think as much. Now is okay. I got to get this done, and I have to do this, and he's just going out there and playing football now, and it really showed. With his performance this week, he did some great things for us offensively.
And then when he had to step in at quarterback when Spain went down, but what a great job he did. Throws for 3 touchdowns, runs for 2 more, and had a couple of big pass completions.
Yeah, I was hoping to get him a catch for a touchdown too, so he could get all 3 of them in. But he did an excellent job. Came in and he played some quarterback this week in practice. He missed a few reads, but he still made things happen. A couple scrambles, a couple good throws to Ed Williams, especially one for a touchdown, one for a first down, and that just shows that he's improving as a player. He's maturing and growing as a player, and he's explosive. It can make a lot of things happen. So you got to use a weapon like that when you can.
We talked about the rough start your team overcame it, and you look back over the course of the game and maybe didn't amount to much. But you faced 3rd and long in each of the first 2 possessions. You had a big completion to Travion for the 1, but you got you into 4th and 1. You still had to punt the football, but you had some success. You made a few plays. Did that at all help maybe turn the offense around and keep that confidence, knowing if we just don't hurt ourselves early, we got a chance?
And it is. There's a few more times in there. We got to kick the field goals. Just a little penalty here, and then a couple bad snaps. If we eliminate those things, we're going to be pretty solid offensively. And they were upset with me a little bit. The offensive guys were 4th and 1, wanted to go for it, but and I told them, show me why we should go for it. Now, if they would have played the very first couple of series like they played the second half offensively, I probably would have went for it on those 4th and shorts. But I got to see something before I'm going to allow us to take a chance and go for it on 4th down.
It was good to see your team come out and play with a little bit of confidence after we said the rough start, but really, for the most part, controlled that game after the first 6 or 7 minutes.
Yes, they did. And then they did a good job of. There wasn't a lot of excitement in the stadium. I mean, it was a quiet stadium. But they took it upon themselves to create some excitement, before the game, while they were stretching and warming up. But they were focused. And they were ready to go. And, when you got your kids sitting there telling you, hey, Coach, we got you. We're going to take care of you. As a coach, they're focused, they're locked in, and they're ready to play football.
But it was a great win for the Tigers, 48-13, 48 unanswered to even up their record at 1-1. And as we mentioned, Lindenwood coming to town on Saturday night for tailgate. We need to take a break. We'll do that right here. We'll come back. We'll talk more about Saturday's win in Tahlequah as Tiger Talk continues right after this. Welcome back to Tiger Talk as we talk Fort Hays State football with head coach Chris Brown, brought to you again by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hays, where the fire is always burning. And of course, they have the quick and easy lunches starting at just $6.95. Lots of new menu items for lunch, including the Whiskey Creek Angus Burger, the Pit Roasted Chicken, Smokehouse Jalapeno Burger, also the Grilled Chicken Club and the Whiskey Creek BLT, the Kickin' Cajun Chicken, and the Sweet Bourbon Chicken. Many new lunch menu items at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hays, locally owned and operated, where the fire's always burning. Gerard Welbrock joined by head football coach Chris Brown. Tigers coming off a very impressive 48-13 victory over Northeastern State Saturday in Tahlequah. Talked a lot about the offense and how they played. It was good to get Ed Williams involved. He's such a versatile receiver, strong, fast guy. 8 catches, I think, well over 100 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He did a really good job to lead that receiving corps.
He does. He's such an athletic kid. He's got such great speed. He's a strong kid, and he just does things very, very well on the football field. He runs great routes. Gets a little tired because, we send him deep quite a bit, but, he fights through it, and, he continues to work hard each day in practice, and he's got great hands, and, he understands the game. The quarterback scrambling, he knows where he needs to get to. If, and he just knows how to get himself against the defenders and get himself open, and when he catches the ball, you never know. He might have a chance to break a tackle and take it 60, 70 yards for us if he needs to.
Isaiah Maxey had 3 catches, one of them for a touchdown, and some tough catches. He's a tall kid, is a big target for the quarterback, but he's become a tough receiver.
He has, and that's just worked through the summer. He was very dedicated this summer. He got himself stronger, got himself a little bit faster, and with his height, he can do some impressive things. And his 1 catch for a touchdown, I mean, that's not an easy catch. You got to go over the back of the defender, catch the ball, and bring it in. But the kid just continues to work each day. He's got a happy smile on his face all the time. He just loves being out there and loves being part of the game. And when you get kids like that really enjoy it that much, it rubs off on other guys as well. And they're just a great leader for us.
Kenneth Iheme got the start at running back. I know he dinged up, dinged up his shoulder, but had a really big game, both running the ball and then he caught that touchdown. He kind of bobbled it a little bit in the flat, but found a crease and got it into the end zone. Good to see him come out. Kind of really a breakout game for him.
It was, and we need to see that out of him. The first game didn't really perform at the level he should have. Wasn't seeing the holes the way he should have. And this game he did. And then, on his reception for a touchdown, had a great block by Zach Gahn and the old lineman getting out for him and cutting down some guys as well. But that's what we need to see out of Iheme. And we'll get him back this week. He'll be fine from his little bruised shoulder. But we'll get him back, get him healthy, and get him back on the field. And it was good to see Ed Smith come back in the game for us too, who, hadn't really practiced all week. Got him in there Thursday, got him some reps, got him comfortable again, and he had a breakout game, and he was actually offensive player of the week for us, by the team.
10 carries, 70 yards for Edward, and he had a nice little kind of a sweep play to his first carry, got him 10 or 12, and seemed to maybe break the ice and then hit the hole hard. And that's probably the biggest difference from him from what we've seen. He's really hitting that hole much quicker, finding the read, and then breaking upfield.
Yeah, he is. It used to be more of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 cuts. You didn't know where he was ever going to end up, but he's learned the game of football as well, and that's taking a step, getting downhill, making one cut, and that's all you get. We're talking about getting vertical. You're running east and west, you're not going to get yards, but north and south is going to get you some yards. And it's just about confidence, and he's confident again in his abilities and the things that he can do, and he's only going to continue to get better as this year goes on.
I want to ask you about the kicking game. Saw Drew O'Brien kick all the extra points a week ago. J.P. Maciel, you only had the one try, did that, but a real solid game. 2 big field goals, and I thought that first one was big. You drive down close, and then I think you got down close to the 1, and it kind of self-destructed. Hits a big 41-yard field goal to get you points, but he was solid on his extra points and nailed both field goal tries.
Yeah, and it's each week, it's competition for those guys. Whoever's kicking best in practice is going to be the guy we go with, and Drew just so happened that week to want that job back, and he competed for it, and I think he made almost every kick in practice. Hopefully this week he comes back and does the same things, but very impressive with his leg this week. I mean, those weren't easy field goals, and he made it look pretty easy, so hopefully he continues to do what he's doing right now for us here in the future.
Seems to me that you have guys with the competition and kind of the pressure on to keep their playing time answering that challenge.
And that's what we need. You need guys pushing one another to make our team better, and I want guys pushing for those starting spots instead of just sitting back and letting that guy take it over. But and when you get your team doing that, you got competition every day. I mean, you can only hope that they only get better, make themselves better, make their team better.
Fort Hays State wins it 48-13. We haven't even talked about the defense yet, and they had a really good game. We'll do that when we return to Tiger Talk, presented by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine and Hayes. Back with more right after this. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, presented by the fine folks at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine and Hayes. Over 10 steak options. That's right, 10 steak options, sirloins, ribeyes, New York strips, even the porterhouse. So stop on by. Great steak selection, plus many other great menu items at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. Gerard Welbrock, head football coach Chris Brown. Tigers get a big win Saturday, 48-13 at Northeastern State. First trip to Tahlequah for football for 4 days since 1990. They lost that game 37-7, turn the table, and get their first ever victory over the Riverhawks. And the defense had a great game. Didn't start that well early, kind of like we talked about the offense. They give up that 12-play, 80-yard drive, but boy, after that, lights out. That was fun to watch.
They played very well. That first drive, like we talked about earlier, few little things. They don't even get those points on the board, and our guys, they're learning as they go along. There's still got some young guys out there, still got guys in new positions, but they're getting better as things progress through the season. And they played physical this week. They swarmed to the ball, and when you do those things, you're going to create turnovers. Dumas should have had 2 picks for touchdowns, and he dropped both of those. But Michael Jordan had a great hit on the running back, caused a fumble. Tomasi on their boot play did a great job of containing the quarterback. Quarterback tried to dump it to the back, and McPhail got the pick off of that. And then I think it was Nathan Lindsay put a big shot on their tailback and knocked the ball in the air, and Schmidberger dove and caught it. And that's the team I want to see, a very physical football team. Guys swarming to the ball, because your opponent's going to watch you, on film that next week. And they see guys doing that, they start to wonder and start to think a little bit. So hopefully we continue to play that physical and not aggressive.
Well, you look at last year when you made the turn midway through the season, it was forcing turnovers and then taking advantage and scoring points off turnovers. You forced 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions, 24 points off of those. You could have easily had 28. You had to settle for that 1 field goal, but every turnover resulted in points. That's a pretty good combination.
And that's the way it needs to be. We need to capitalize on every situation that we get, and whether it's on special teams creating turnovers, our offense needs to score. And then, defensively, we need to create some more turnovers and just get our offense the ball, because, I know our offense can do some explosive things. If we can just get the ball back to them, they're going to put some points on the board.
Nice job in some different I guess, different looks. Joita Taig dinged up in the opener, suited up but did not play, and saw Michael Terry, your linebacker, move into that defensive end from a two-point stance a lot of the times. He had a big game, a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I think a 2.5 tackles for loss and had a sack in there as well.
And that's just a great job by that kid. I mean, a lot of times when you move a kid, they're not real happy about it. But, he took one for the team and said, I'm going to do this for our team. And did a great job and got a lot of pressure on the quarterback, made a lot of nice tackles for loss, in the backfield. And, just took ownership in it. And I'm very proud of the way the kid stepped up for us and helped us out on the D-line spot. And now it's one of those situations, hey, we can use him differently now. We may be able to get in a 4-man front with him, and all of a sudden we get in our 3-3 stack and just try to keep an offense off balance by just the things he did in that game for us. But very proud of the way he handled the situation and really helped us out defensively.
And it allowed you to get Brock Long, another inside linebacker, onto the field, a tandem in there with McPhail, and he's had a good camp and a really good start to his season.
He has. He's done an excellent job. He came in here in the spring and kind of started picking up our defense, and then through camp he started picking up a little bit better. But you can see now that it's clicking for him, and he's a great linebacker and he does some great things. He's a physical football player, and he understands what we're doing. And just another great kid on the field that has some leadership and plays hard and plays physical and wants to be out there.
You have to like how your team gave up some yards in between the 30s. But you forced them into a couple of 4th down tries and got stops. That was important in that game. Kept that streak going where you could just keep adding to the lead and not let them kind of crawl back in the game.
And that's how I've always been defensively. We're going to bend a little bit, but the thing I don't want to do is give up the big play. If we could eliminate big plays, make an offense earn, first downs and touchdowns, eventually, hopefully, they make a mistake and we capitalize on it. And that's my biggest fear all the time, is just giving up a big play, because now you change the whole momentum. Teams get excited. It changes their demeanor. Or if we just keep them just kind of grinding it out, it's not as exciting really when you score a 2-yard touchdown on a 14-play drive as that one big play that gets everybody going.
And Justin McPhail, boy, he's been steady, hasn't he?
He has, and ever since he's been here, he's been working hard and learning our defense, and he's just a good football player. He's solid, hard-nosed, physical, aggressive, and he's what you want in a linebacker.
Well, he played well. The entire Tiger defense played very, very well, and gave up a score early and then gave up one late with some backups in there. But the Tigers win it by a final of 48-13. Evens up their record at 1-1. Now back at home this Saturday night, tailgate, always a fun event as Lindenwood comes to town. We'll talk about the Lions when we return for our final segment on Tiger Talk. Welcome back. One final segment here on Tiger Talk, presented by the fine folks at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, home of your favorite drinks at the bar. Over 200 selections to choose from, and of course the half-price appetizers, 8 till close every night of the week at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. Fort Hays State 1-1. They'll try to get above 500 for the first time Saturday night. It's a night game with Lindenwood Tailgate 2014. Always a fun event, great atmosphere, hopefully another good crowd. You had a great one for the season opener. Hopefully even get a few more folks there. And if past history, and there's not a lot of it between the two programs, is any indication, should be a pretty good one. They beat you in a nail-biter 20-17 2 years ago at Lewis Field, and you had a great performance, one of your better road wins last year in St. Charles, but two very entertaining games every time you guys hook up.
They have been. I mean, they're a good football team. They always have great players on offense, especially the skill positions in the quarterback, and then defensively they're always very, very solid with some great linebackers, some very athletic defensive linemen, and guys in the secondary. So, I expect another battle out of both these teams, and it's going to be a good one on Saturday, and just hopefully we perform at the level that we're supposed to. But, watching them on film already this week, we watched film Sunday and Monday, and they're a good football team. They got some guys on offense that are very athletic. They're very strong up front, and their quarterback does a great job, and they got a great running back. And then defensively, they got their linebacker back from last year that was injured, all year long, and he's tough, and he's a very, very good football player. And you watched him against Washburn. He had 2 picks that really sealed the deal for them to win that game. But they're a good football team. It's going to be battle this Saturday.
Pierre Desir's not there. That's a good thing, because he was as good as it gets, certainly at this level of football. But as you said, they're always solid defensively, really flat the football. And each of the years you've played on both sides of the ball, very big up front.
They are. I mean, they got some big kids, and they're very strong kids up front. But we just got to do some things that, hone in on our offense. How can we attack them, and what do we do best that's going to help us win this ball game. And then defensively, I think we've got to play like we did last week. Get to the ball, be physical. They run a lot of 10 personnel, so you're going to see a lot of doubles and trips and just a bunch of wide receivers. Every once in a while, they'll give you a tight end in the game, but we're going to be a physical football team and get after them, hopefully create some turnovers.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. Unlike in college football, obviously, a lot of people spread it out, but they maybe do it more than anybody else you play in the MIAA. I mean, they like to get 3, as you said, 4, sometimes 5 wide receivers out there.
Yeah, they do. So that kind of changes your game plan a little bit. What you do defensively. Do you go with a 3-man front? Do you got a 4-man front? Do we bring pressure? Can we cover the receivers or not? So we got to figure out, how do we match up against their offense and, figure out what works best for us.
Playing at home, and it's kind of strange. Since you've been the Fort Hays State head coach now, 9-8 on the road, you've done a really good job of handling road games. Sometimes, I don't know if it's the pressure of a home game. We kind of saw that in the opener. Your team maybe plays a little bit tighter. I mean, what can you do to try to turn that in the right direction, because you got the fans behind you and hopefully can maybe just relax like they looked on Saturday?
Maybe I just need to see if Chris will let us get into a hotel and do our whole pregame meal things like we always do on the road. But I don't know, maybe it's just because, I'm with them more. I know exactly what they're doing, Friday night before a game, but I assume they're doing the same things. But I don't know. We just seem for some reason I feel like we play better on the road than we play at home, and we got to get that changed. Hopefully that starts this week. But we've had some great games at home, but we need to come out relaxed, focused, and just play Tiger football the way we know how to play football.
Sounds good. Should be a lot of fun. Congratulations on the nice win, and good luck this Saturday night. Should be a lot of fun.
Thanks, Gerard.
That's Chris Brown, head coach of the Tigers. Again, it's Lindenwood on Saturday night. It's a 7 o'clock kick. Tailgate 2014. You can still get your tailgating spots by contacting the Hays Area Chamber of Commerce. So go ahead and do that, and let's fill the stadium for the Lindenwood Lions as they take on Fort Hays State in what should be a fun ball game. Of course, you can hear all the action on Tiger Radio Mix 103, 6 o'clock with our Auto World pregame show. That is going to wrap up Tiger Talk for this go-around. It's brought to you again by the fine folks of the Hays Med Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis, Adams Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for Men and Women, James Motor Company, BTI, and of course the fine folks at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hays, where the fire's always burning. We'll see you Saturday night for Fort Hays State football as they host Lindenwood at 7. For head football coach Chris Brown, this is Gerard Walbrock. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Eagle Communications.